Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday evening. It is June 10th, 2021. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My name is Nicole Vick. I am a public health professional, an author, educator, all kinds of things, all up into wrapped into one little package. Actually, the package is not that little. It's a little big. And we're going to talk about that today. Perfect segue, which was not even intentional, but it worked out. This month's episode is focused on this idea that all bodies are good bodies, and this concept that I embrace called wear what you like. Wear what you like. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what size you are. We don't have to wait to be a certain weight to wear the clothes we enjoy. And I feel like summertime is the perfect time to talk about this because a lot of people are concerned about losing some winter weight or getting their body summer ready. And I'm like, as long as you have a body, your body is summer ready. Now, if you are following me on Instagram, my Instagram is Nicole D. Vick. You saw some posts on Tuesday and today that made reference to my journey to accepting my body for what it is, who it is, where it is right now, and how that progression happened. I didn't wake up like, yes, I love myself. There was some issues there. I have done things to myself, and I do want to put this trigger warning out there. We will talk a little bit about diet culture, things like liposuction. So if these things are sensitive topics for you, you may want to, just be mindful of that. I am not promoting dieting. I am not promoting anything. I just want to share that some of those things were part of my journey. Liposuction. Yes, I did liposuction about maybe 10 or so years ago. I dieted a lot, different types of diets. And I really struggled because I thought that I had to look a certain way in order to be accepted by somebody, society. I don't even really know, but there were messages right out there that told me that how my body existed was not good enough. And so I thought that today would be a good time to talk about it. Like I said, we're heading into summer, bikinis and stuff. Folks are selling bathing suits and things. And I want people to feel liberated. I want you to leave here feeling liberated and saying, dang on it, I'm about to buy that string bikini right now. And I'm going to the beach. That's how I want you to feel today. So before I bring on my special guest, I'm going to bring on my co-host, my girl, Nomsa Calfani, Dr. Nomsa Calfani. Come on down. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Are you ready to have this conversation? Because it's about to get real.
Yeah, I'm ready.
We gonna talk about bodies.
You know what?
How all bodies are good.
I'm excited, but I think because, and you know this, I am still a work in progress, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm excited, and I want to talk this through. I want to talk it through.
Yeah, we gonna liberate you today. We're gonna liberate today. It's gonna be the day. After we get off of this live, we're gonna get on the internet. We're gonna buy you a string bikini. Mr. Kurt is gonna be happy.
Well, I wear two-piece already, so
okay, we're gonna take it to the next level.
I'm good with a two-piece. I got my high-waisted bottoms, and then the girls is like, hey, summertime. So I'm actually cool when it comes to that. It's just the overall, sometimes you get in this, you don't see yourself the same way other people see you, right? So it's that balance and trying to adjust, right? So, and I know, we'll get into this a little bit more, but when I was good being a 10, 2 digits, I was now once I went beyond a 10, it was harder to feel good, and I shouldn't have, but it was harder. But before then, I was like, you couldn't tell me nothing. But as the double digit increase, it was like, wait a minute now, some got to stop. But I am slowly becoming comfortable and embracing me. I think some of it has to do with age, just like where I'm at in life. But yeah, it's a journey.
Yes. And it's funny because somebody like me who's always been in the double digits, the high double digits, like I'm used to that. So it's like, oh, well, I mean, hey. Um, but it's still, I think either way, I think to your point, it still is like a journey because I remember being young and really being worried about what other people thought of me. Well, if they see my thighs, what are they gonna say? And then it became a process of it don't really matter what other people have to say about me. What do I say about me? So it was really an interesting thing. And again, it didn't take, it wasn't like this. And I agree with you. Age definitely shifts some things, as you get older, like, look, I done made it through some things. I'm putting this damn bathing suit on or whatever it is, body conduct, whatever it is, right?
Right.
And I'm going to live my best life. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, I want to free a lot of Black women specifically on tonight, as my friend Dante says. I want us as sisters to show up and show out this summer and not be burdened by society's ideas of what we should look like. So, I want to bring on my best buddy. Well, my other best buddy, because you're my best buddy. I don't want to start no problems on the line. My
it's all love.
/ neighbor, Pia Shivo Campo. She's amazing, a social justice warrior, a mom, a model, beautiful woman, and someone that I call a friend. The woman that showed me how to mix patterns and dress, and I just love her. So come on down, Pia.
Hey. Oh, P is on mute.
Pia, did you mute yourself, girl? See?
There we go. There we go.
I'm so sorry. I feel like that's what the whole pandemic, people are like, right? And I did the thing. So here I am.
Now, hopefully, after June 15th, we won't have to have Zoom. Well, let me take that back. But, no, I'm going to say it. Hopefully, after June 15th, we won't have to have Zoom meetings no more. We can have person-to-person meetings,
I hope so.
Hey.
Yes. So, Pia, hello.
Nicole. Hello, friends. Hello, neighbor.
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. I'm super excited to be talking to the both of you. You're both just brilliant, beautiful Black women, and I'm just excited for this. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now, some of you don't know, you may not know, Pia and I have done a series of YouTube videos. That was like 2 years ago, which is crazy. Yeah. Kwame, if you can pull up the screenshot of our YouTube videos, that would be awesome. I want people to see. I thought we only did 2. We actually did 4 of them together. And we did 4. We did. Yeah. And all I can remember is that very first video we did was about our journey to body positivity. And right before we turned on the camera to record, I was like, okay, Pia, so I had lipo, so I don't, boom, 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 because I was like, let me just get this out. I don't know how far we're gonna go, la 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 la. And you were like, what did you say?
I think I said I had lipo too. Did I say that? I don't know. Is that what I said?
That's what you said. And I was looking at you like, what? And it was just a moment of shared experience, and I think it was really interesting to hear, because I have never talked to any other Black woman that I know that has actually also had that experience. So it was like, oh crap, we have a shared experience now. Let's for real have a conversation. So really happy to know you, of course. And let's just dig in. Nosa is gonna start us off with the question, because she says she's trying to get through her journey. She's almost there. We're gonna liberate her today. Yes.
All right.
So we're gonna get into it. So since I'm, still trying to get to my place, you all, both of you, use the term body positivity. What does that mean?
So I'll take a stab at that. So I would say that I'm not sure I necessarily ascribe to body positivity the way it's being defined now. So I feel like a lot of people who have been doing this work around, body liberation is like this umbrella idea. Body positivity was this way of sort of rejecting what society has told us about how we're supposed to look. But it's totally been co-opted, right? And like now people are just trying to make money off of body positivity. But it really, I think, has like lost kind of its grassroots essence, right? And so now it's just sort of the next new thing. It's a hashtag. And so what I've been thinking a lot about and reading a lot about is this idea of fat liberation or body liberation, right? Because that, I think, more accurately talks about the intersections that like being fat and Black, right, is like a thing, and that has bigger implications for people's lives, right, than like a skinny white girl being like, just trying to love myself. And that's valid, right?
Right.
But you live in a body that the world tells you is good. Whether or not you believe it, that is a safety net and is something that other people don't have, right? You add that to maybe being disabled or you're maybe queer, like you keep adding on those different parts of your identity and it becomes one other level of oppression, right? So that's kind of how I see it in my head.
I like
your comments remind me of the quote that I talk about often, and I think Nomsa, you have heard me say this by, is it Elaine Welteroth? I'm probably going to mess this quote up. Something like when you exist in spaces not designed for you, just existing is sort of the moment of liberation or justice or just existing in that space. I'm gonna look it up and get it right, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's revolutionary. It's radical, right?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's really interesting, and I think that layer of fat and Black also kind of really is a big deal. And can we speak? I don't know, P, if you want to speak to this, or even Nomsa, let's talk about this. The use of the word fat. Some people don't like to be called fat. Oh, don't say that. You're not fat. I'm fat. And it's okay. Just like I'm short, or I am brown, or I have curly hair. I don't know. Is there a layer or some sort of a connotation to the word fat? Just want to kind of hear from both of you on that.
Nomsa, you go first.
You know what? As you said, when you were saying it, I'm like, I don't use that a whole bunch. It's not really in my vocabulary, and it just could be where I've kind of landed over time, being thin, gaining weight as I got older, and it's been more of, I've gained weight, right? I've gotten heavier, or but fat is not a word I really use.
When you say is not a word you use in your vocabulary, like to describe other people, or just you don't use it at all?
I don't really use it. It's like, I describe Black women that we are curvy, right? That, it's like those, but to say that, oh, she's fat over there, that's not a word. That's not how I talk about people or describe people.
I get that. Yeah, well, it's interesting because, it's been so ingrained in us that fat equals unattractive, less valuable, lazy, unhealthy. We make all these associations with the word fat because that's what we've been fed, pun intended, right? So to take the word back, and to sort of, give an FU to the system and say, you know what, I'm going to reclaim that word. I'm going to own that word. And I'm going to make it into something that is, as Nicole said, is just a description of what my body looks like. It has no impact on my value. Right. And that's hard work to do. It's not an overnight thing. To me, in the intro, I heard you saying like, I'm not there yet. You're never there yet. And, and there's only so much internal work that we can do. At what point do we hold systems accountable? Right?
Yes.
At what point do we hold systems accountable instead of putting all the fucking energy in us having to do that work? That's not the work. That's not the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was on a Facebook post about that, and someone was saying something like body positivity is a distraction. And to your point, PA, it's really about, okay, it kind of goes back to what we talk about in public health. It's like, all right, yeah, there's individual level things that we can do to make ourselves feel better in a society that doesn't like us. But to your point, at what point do we push back against the system that is dominated by white men that says we have to look a certain way to be accepted? So it was really interesting to hear that, because I hadn't heard that before either. And to go back real quick to the fat thing, I probably would never refer to another person as fat. I wouldn't say, oh, that fat girl over there. I wouldn't say that to a person, because I'm aware of that layer of, but I'm fine with defining or calling myself fat. And I think that, and I don't think I would want someone else to call me fat. Like, girl, you fat? I'm like, what? But let me call myself that. You don't call me that. I call me that. It's one of those weird things. I don't know.
Well, because you never know how somebody else is saying it, right? Because again, like, we've been taught that fat is bad. But if I was like, hey, Nicole, let's do a fat and cute party, you wouldn't be offended. You'd be like, yeah, we some fat, cute girls. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So it's context too, because if you calling me that, but you mean it as something else, ooh, I'm going to take off these bamboo earrings and get me some Vaseline, boo-boo. How about that? You going to feel the weight of me.
Yeah. Okay. Literally, right?
All of that. But I appreciate this dialogue around just the body liberation, right? Because it is, being comfortable in your own skin. And I think we do that in different ways, but this whole focus on weight, right? And is this other thing, because when we look in magazines or on TV, there is this, for us, when you think of, as Black women, we don't see variations of us, right? As we were growing up, you saw these thin, and I never, it's like you never wanted to look like that, right? It was like, I've never wanted to be the skinny white girl. It's like, I never wanted to be that, that. But I just wanted to be like cute in clothes, so whatever. But cute in clothes, as you get older, again, I think it's like, it's what I feel I look good in. And I'm not trying to lose weight to get in an outfit, because them days is over. It is like, what do I feel good in now? Yes. And we have our ups and downs, but wanting to always feel good no matter what it is, even if it's a t-shirt and some sweats.
Amen.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pio, how would you characterize your body liberation journey? If you could say it in a couple of sentences. And I know we've talked about it. You and I have talked about it. I mean, was it a straight shot? Was it a roller coaster? What was it? A Ferris wheel?
Was. Shoot. What you talk about? I mean, that's the thing, right? At least for me, like, my experience has been that it wasn't overnight, but then it also wasn't like I've arrived and I just feel good about myself every day. I'm freaking out now about buying a bathing suit. And so the difference is, for me now, is that I don't get into panic mode and say I need to get on a diet, because I know what that looks like. I did that hamster wheel for 30 years. So, and I understand that what I'm feeling, number one, is I'm not feeling fat. I'm feeling insecure, right? Yeah. Because the pressure is there always, right? It's ever present. And so I have to do that internal pep talk, right? And that's why I surround myself with the people I surround myself with. And so for me, it was really about letting go of the constant dieting, because that was doing far more damage than going up and down in my weight was ever going to do. It was that emotional piece. And I think I just got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do, but I feel like this is something I need to talk about and process. And so I started to write, and that was really, for me, how the journey started, was connecting with other people who were on that journey, whether they had always been fat. And I wasn't a fat kid, but I lived in a household where I got the message of like, you should eat everything on your plate, but then you eat everything on your plate. And it's like, you could lose a little weight. You just told me to eat everything on my plate. I'm confused. So that's how some of these things start. But anyways, that was not short, Nicole. I apologize.
No, that was perfect. And I think one of the similarities that came up for you, that also came up for me, was this idea of like, I need to stop fighting myself. Why am I fighting myself? Like, I'm the only person that I have in this world. Of course, I have family and kid, I have a daughter and all that, but ultimately self is all that there is. Why am I literally like this with myself all the time. And using this tool, this scale, as a determinant of how I'm gonna feel on a given day. If the number look right, oh yay. If the number look wrong, I got an attitude the whole day. I'm the man.
Right.
I've thrown scales away, convinced that the scale was damn broke. The damn thing must be broke because the numbers ain't right. And this is just ridiculous. Like, what is that? That don't make no sense. And that was really kind of where I finally realized this doesn't make any sense anymore. Let me go get some Oreos and just figure this shit out some other kind of way.
Yes, girl.
I should have bought some.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? It just was crazy. No, so do you have any, your journey? Because I know, like, for you kind of talked about things kind of started happening later in life for you. Where are you? And we touched on it, but any other observations you've had about your body liberation journey?
I think it's Pia mentioned it just now, just talking about being insecure, right? And it's not, I guess it's insecurities, and I use the word not feeling comfortable a lot, right? It's like don't feel comfortable in either certain or actually, let me back it up. I think I've mentally told myself there are certain things because of the size I had gotten, I can't wear. Right. So then it's like you start to create this list. I don't try them on. It's just like I can't include them. But then it was like, well, and actually it was I don't remember what conversation, Nicole, you and I had, but something about that conversation triggered me to go buy a jumpsuit. I was like, oh, I can't wear jumpsuits. Jumpsuits are not made for this body. But I love a jumpsuit now. You can't get me out of the jumpsuit, right? And I was like, why have I been not wearing a jumpsuit or dresses that fit? It's like, no, I got to wear too many undergarments for it to look right when not necessarily, right? So it's like, I think I've also during COVID have experimented because I done ordered all kinds of clothes. Ordered things that I normally wouldn't wear that I've actually felt good in, right? That before I've talked myself out of. And everybody around me can say, no, you look good. But for whatever reason, when I'm looking at me, it just doesn't look right. So I've been working on reframing that inner talk, because otherwise, I wouldn't wear half of the stuff I have.
Pia, let me just tell you, NOSA is solely responsible for keeping Eloquy in business.
I was gonna say, I was like, that top is so cute. I bet it's from Eloquy. It feels like Eloquy. It's so hilarious that you just said that. I love it. You got all your money, huh?
Yes.
I think, Pia, that's where I really admire you. Not that, and I hate when people say it's about fat people. Oh my God, you're so courageous. And that's not what I'm saying. But I really admire you because of your fashion sense and your ability to put outfits together and to show people what can be done. And I think that is what to me is really, really important in these kinds of conversations. Like, why can't you wear a jumpsuit? It's not your fault. It's the clothes. If the clothes don't fit, it ain't you. It's a piece of fabric. Like, we can find you another jumpsuit. We can get you a jumpsuit, and don't be afraid to go a size up, belt it, or do something different to it. So I think, I think the people like you, Pia, and to some degree me, I'm not where you at, but I love the clothes, and I really love trying to show people, like, you can wear this. And even if you're not comfortable wearing shorts, put the shorts on. Like, we can do something different at the top, or we can do something different with the shirt or the boots or the pants or the shoes. It's always something that can be done where you can enjoy your clothes and not have to feel like you're hiding in your clothes. So yes,
that's a good point, especially around the hiding in your clothes.
And I used to do that. I don't know if you did that too, when I was younger. Back in those Lane Bryant days. And then one day one of the Lane Bryant ladies told me, no, you need to wear clothes that fit you. Don't buy.
That's I mean, that's the thing is I wore baggy clothes so much. I wasn't a fat person. I was maybe like a size 10 in high school, and I was tall. And if I look back now, I would probably call myself slender. But in my head, you know, I saw something very different. And it was always the despair and compare. If I looked like this, then you know, it's like, girl, no, you would still have the same problems you have now. You would just be wearing different size jeans. It's not that deep. But, you know, but when you're 14 or 15, everything is about, you know, how am I perceived, right? But style for me has been a way to, I'm a creative person. So it is about sort of reflecting that part of my personality. But when I tie it to kind of the body liberation stuff, for me is that fat folks, particularly fat women, and especially fat Black women, I think we've always been encouraged to hide, to play small, to not take up too much space. So for me, it's my way of taking up space. You gonna see me. You gonna see my thick thighs coming, and you gonna love it. And you gonna ask me where did I get my outfit, and I'm not gonna tell you.
Hello.
So, but you know, I mean, it's theater. It's a bit of theater, you know, and I love the creativity that it brings. And I freaking love going through my feed and seeing big women wearing what they want to wear, regardless of what their style is, whether they're androgynous or they love a good body con or they like caftans. It's like, wear what feels good to your body. Yeah. You know, and you can, when you put something cute on and you know you look cute, nothing can stop you, right? You're all the way up. You like, I'm right here. You can't. And so for a lot of people, that feels like a scary step. They don't think that they deserve it. You know, they don't think they deserve to look good. So, yeah.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. We are going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to really talk about this whole politicization. I know I said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about, of the Black body. We're going to really dig into that. But we finna go on to a commercial. Take it away, Kwame. Oh, I'm sorry. I was dancing to the music. I was like, he got me looking cute in that little commercial. My little curly little thing blowing in the wind.
Check you out.
Look at all fancy. Look at me looking like somebody. Like I know something. So I want to bring up again this whole thing about the politicization. I don't even know if that's a word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say, of the Black body, specifically around fat Black women. There's a couple of things I'm just going to kind of throw out there. Let's just see where we land. One thing I remember, I think it was last year when, and I'm going to name Eloquy. Remember when the whole Black Lives Matter and everything was going on, and a lot of people were really angry about sort of the lip service we were being paid as a Black community. And it actually turns out, I think the article just came out that said, yeah, we all were paid lip service because all that money that was promised to some of those entities never materialize. But people were really mad at companies like Eloquy, for example. Like, yeah, you know, Black women actually spend a lot of money with y'all, a lot.
Right.
But when we look at your board, or we look at your upper management, there's nobody that looks like us in those spaces. That's the one thing that kind of I want to touch on. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you all are familiar with Stella Williams. She is an influencer, plus size fashionista on Instagram and YouTube. And she gets a lot of flack. Her body shape, her body type is not what's considered socially acceptable, but she wears what she wants to wear. And people really come for her. And they've come for her a number of times on Instagram and YouTube. And it's just really those types of incidents really make me wonder about the political aspect of the fat Black female body. What are you all thinking about with that? How do we push back against that? Just want to talk that through, because it's a lot there. There's a lot of layers there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just start off that no matter what we do as Black women, folks ain't satisfied, right? We either too much of something, not enough of something, too big, or, they're too loud, no matter what it is, right? So if we're big and we lose weight, people have problems. Because it's like, oh, she wasn't happy when she was big. Why does she have to lose this weight? Or, or vice versa. There's always something, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I think start there. Like, just acknowledge the fact that no matter what we do in our skin, mm-hmm. there's always some issue, no matter what. Like, no matter what.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I do feel like colorism comes into this too when we're talking about this. And this is something that I've been just wanting to explore a lot more as someone who is mixed race and who is light skinned and who understands the privilege of what that means in our society, right? So there is a woman, her name is Dr. Sabrina Strings, and she's a professor at UC Irvine. And so she has a book called, oh my God, my brain is completely gone. But she talks about, so I'll just kind of quote something from her book. She says, the fear of the imagined fat Black woman was created by a racial and religious ideology that have been used to both degrade Black women and discipline white women. And for me, that was just like so powerful, because it's like, there's always going to be that division, right? And that intersectionality that we talk about, that fat Black women are mammies, right? And we're going to be seen as serving one purpose and one purpose only. Now, if you're a white woman, we still want to keep you in check, but you still have a certain level of privilege. And that just kind of really shook me to the core when I read that. I was like, wow, it really is about silencing and I think also understanding the strength, the power, the fierceness of Black women, and that people are really afraid is what it is. That, like, imagine for a Black woman to just live fully as she is, and she's fat, like that
what the hell?
The complete opposite of what, of what we're trying to sell. And so that is a threat. So what would you do? You would do anything and everything to make sure that would never happen. And so we see that our systems are structured in a way that keeps us from thriving. And certainly, I think white women have, they feel this, but not to the same extent, right?
Right.
And that stuff is no joke. It goes deep.
It's so interesting. I mean, to really, when you start to understand that it actually is just more than about wearing what you want. It's more than that. It's deeper than that. It's really about, again, going back to some of the very things that both of you and I talk about a lot. The whole social justice thing, the whole idea of simply existing being the revolution. All of it's really like that deep. It doesn't sound like it or feel like it initially, but it like really is that freaking deep. Like literally you existing in your fat Black body with a damn bathing suit on is as much of a political statement as protesting for voting rights in many ways. Like, I'm saying to the establishment that the status quo is no longer acceptable. You're going to accept this body as it is. Damn it. Right. Wow. And it's actually an affront to the diet industry, the fashion industry, which now I'm having so many problems with the fashion industry just in my own head these days, which is like, where are all these damn clothes coming from? And where the hell do they all go? And who is doing all this work and being exploited? It's like, it's so many layers to all of this. And I think the more I think about it, it's right alongside all of the other issues that we know are just really jacked up about this here United States of America. But I just don't know.
That's another conversation, huh?
I know.
Wow. Layered. It was very, very layered for
Very.
sure.
And one thing I'll say, and then I'll turn it back because I know I'm talking too much. Even just the workplace, something you talked about earlier, Pia, just this idea of, even for me, how I show up at work when I am actually in the office. Right now, we're all virtual. Like, I always feel like I have to come to work dressed well. I wear bright colors. Everybody else has on black and brown and looking kind of drab. Here I am with the purple shoes on and the orange blazer, right?
Yep.
And part of that is because I love clothes, but part of that is I need to be A1 because I am fat, I am black, and I need to make sure that no one incorrectly decides that I'm lazy or sloppy. So there's that too, that people don't often think about. I want you to say, oh my God, those shoes are beautiful. Thank you, because I want you to know that I'm up in here. I'm here,
Right.
So it's interesting.
Right. That's interesting, Nicole. You just said you want to make sure folks, you don't want to be sloppy or people look at you a certain way. And when you said that, I was thinking, and I think sometimes, I grew up thinking, whenever we're out in public, I need to look a certain way, right? I need to carry myself a certain way. So do you feel that you're fat, you need to go over and beyond, you need to go do even more to make sure that those thoughts or negative things don't come up?
I would say for me, it's a weird dynamic for me. I don't know. It's more, like I said, I love clothes, so I'm going to look a certain way because I like to look a certain way. But right. I'm also very mindful and aware that what I look like is sending a message. And it's a weird dynamic because it also contrasts how I feel about bonnets. Wear the damn bonnet. If that's what you want to put on your head, put it on. Now, am I going to wear a bonnet outside? Probably not.
Right.
But it's a weird dynamic because I had made a comment on someone's post about the bonnets. I said, we have to be really careful because we're going down a slippery slope about assigning value to how people look or deciding how we're going to treat people based on how they look, because people have been raped because of the way they look. So we got to be careful. And so it's just this weird dynamic, I think, that I exist in. Like, I'm gonna dress a certain way because I want to be perceived a certain way, but why? Right? Why? When I don't know.
It's survival, though, don't you think?
Like, whatever.
Do you feel like part of it is survival?
Say some more about that.
Yeah.
I think, it's when I think about, even just navigating the world as a Black woman, as a Black professional, that, like you were saying, Nicole, you always feel like you have to kind of like step up just a little bit more, do a little bit extra to just make sure that people know that you're qualified to be there, right? And so when you add another layer to that, right, and so you're somebody who's fat or lives in a larger body, I think like it just adds like another layer to it, because we know that fat discrimination exists, whether we, want to see ourselves as being liberal and progressive or not, because it's been drilled into our brains. I mean, I still make those in my mind. When I see a fat person, I go, that person's fat. And then I go, and that means nothing. Right. But it takes a long time to get to that point and to untrain our minds, to decolonize our minds around that kind of stuff. And so it's a survival technique. I'm going to look cute in this fat body so that you have absolutely no excuse to treat me differently, and I'm probably smarter than everybody in this room, but this is what I have to do to get where I need to be. And that's not fair, but that's the way it is. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You take it seriously.
Because Bob and Craig and Chad, they don't have the same kind of issues. They be looking like
it never comes
up baggy khakis, and
it never comes up on that side.
No,
it's not something that it's not something they ever have to deal with
at all.
At all. It's not even it doesn't even come up as a thought, right?
Right.
one of the things I had thought about kind of putting in the air was asking the question of, when do you get to this place of, forget it. This is who I am, and, take me as I am kind of thing. But Pia, you had said something earlier that still resonates with me about, it's like, you may not ever get to that place, right? So it's not that plan that, you shouldn't be planning in your head that eventually I'm going to get to that place where it's just whatever, because even when you're feeling good about yourself, you still may have a moment where that moment could be about anything, right? That triggers something else. But what, when you think about just where, and this is for both of you, because I really get a lot of inspiration for both of y'all. P, I got some of your clothes in my closet. But I think I look amazing in.
So glad.
But it's like, what? For folks that are still just trying to figure it out and still are just like struggling because there's so much external stuff, and trying to reframe those internal messages are so hard. What would you say to somebody?
I think you have to be gentle with yourself first and foremost, because diet culture is about restriction and punishment. And so if you're trying to reverse that, you have to be gentle. You're not going to change overnight. You're still going to have uncomfortable thoughts, right? Let yourself go at a slow pace. For me, it was just like really trying to fill my feed. I'm on social media a lot. How do I change my reality? Well, if everyone in my feed is someone who looks like me, like that's a step in the right direction, right? And taking a baby step. So I think a lot of times people want to feel ready before they actually take the step, but sometimes you have to take the step and then let your mind catch up to the idea. And that can also be uncomfortable, but it takes some courage. Have a good support system in place, find someone that you can talk to about this stuff, because isolation is half the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. That's good. Nicole.
I was going to say the social media thing, I think, is really, really important, especially for people like me that are also on social media a lot. Sometimes you don't realize how much those images really affect you. And I have had to, and I've actually had a conversation with Pia before. I was irritated by a decision someone else had about their body. And I was like, but it's not even my body, but I'm still irritated. And she was like, well, you might just want to unfollow. And I was like, duh, like, I don't know why it didn't occur to me. I'm like, I can shape what I see. And I did make that decision. I said, well, let me just take a moment and then I can kind of come back to it. But it actually triggered some thoughts for me, like, why am I so much concerned about what somebody else is doing with their body? So that helped me even think that through, and like, why is that my business what they decide to do? But in the meantime, in the short term, it was like, let me just kind of, I get mad when my natural hair YouTuber puts a relaxer in. So I'm that kind of person. I'm like, well, I can't watch it no more. But it was important for me to kind of think through that. And I'm grateful that Pia, and it wasn't like a long conversation. She said, well, maybe you just need to unfollow. And I'm like, oh, it had never occurred to me to do. So that who you're watching and who, is coming through your feed, really important to tailor that. And I do think the friendship and the connections with people that are like-minded are really, really important. And I think the first thing you said, Pia, about compassion and grace, I had a quote that I love. If your compassion doesn't include yourself, it's incomplete. Like, you have to have compassion for yourself first and foremost before you can even start to extend it onto others. So I think that's also really, really, really important. And I'm just grateful that the images that we have now, the idols, the people that we can look up to, there's so many more people of different body types, different fashion styles or whatever that they like. There's so much variety. When I was younger, there really wasn't anybody that I can really think of that, and of course we didn't have social media either, right? So there really wasn't a lot of positive images of plus size women living their best life, right? If we saw plus size women, they were miserable, they were sad, they were mammies, they were waiting for something else to happen in their lives. And it's like, A lot of women that are plus size are living their best life. We're not waiting for anything. So I think we're in a new day, and we have much more good examples of plus size women living well and being happy, and I think that's great.
Yeah. And you're right when you said that. Looking at what's on TV, and they were comedians. They were the fat happy friend, right?
Yep.
That didn't have a man, but had their friends, and they kept everybody else laughing, kind of thing. So those are you have that image as well. Unless you watch Dynasty, right? So you had you were smaller and fabulous. Right. You think about who was on there, right? We only had one black woman on the show,
right?
We know what she looked like. And then when you think of other shows, it's like what those women. So it's like those black women that were in shows that either were, their character was struggling. You were on the Cosby Show. Right. It's like you think about what those characters, what's happening in their mother, right? So it's like when you think of certain shows and where how you look, and if you were a black woman in a show where you were fabulous, you were not a large woman.
Nope. Absolutely not. You were definitely light skinned and had long hair.
There you go.
Period.
I mean that was it.
There you go. With a fur, with some rabbit or something on your shoulder.
No doubt.
No doubt. Oh, the rabbit.
You got, Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll. I'm just saying.
That's the truth.
And it's
you
start to feel like you don't deserve a fulfilling relationship. You don't deserve the good job with the high paying salary. You don't deserve happiness. You're supposed to sit around miserable because that's what you see all the time. And it's not even just on TV. Your mom, if your mom is big, she's miserable, right? And whatever she has, she's projecting that's coming on to you. That's why I was drinking Slim Fast in elementary school, right? Now, she was doing what she thought was best. No shade to my mama, but, that was because of her lived experience as a taller, plus size woman growing up. So, we got it on TV, we get it at home, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just supposed to be this, mammy, or this, the friend, the bridesmaid, or and that's it. So now we see women plus size. What I do on my feed with lingerie on, stones on. I see all of it. I'm like, go ahead, do that.
Can you imagine like what it would have been like for us to see that growing up? Well, like the millennials and Gen Zers, I'm like, y'all got it good, and I'm so glad to see you all living your best lives. Like, it's. If I could go back, in time and like whisper to my 12 or 13-year-old self, like, your crooked afro is okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. I'm like 30 years later, I'm still talking about that shit in therapy. Like, y'all think I'm playing, but I'm actually not. So, but to just go back and tell that girl that like her awkward self is okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we have to tell ourselves that message as an adult.
Okay.
Yes. I know that's right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Even for me, I find myself still to this day sometimes feeling like, oh, I probably shouldn't ask for that. And I'm like, and I'm even now reminding myself, no, you need to ask for what you want.
Yeah.
And don't wait for permission. That's another one of my good quotes. Ask for what you want. Don't wait for permission. Just say, this is what I want. And be okay with that. So that's something I'm even struggling with right now at 42. But yeah. So we're about 10 minutes till the end of our time together. I want to come back to the bathing suits and wearing what you like, and all bodies are good bodies. What would you say, Tia, and I can even think for myself, to that woman who really wants to. She saw a Bob bathing suit. She saw Tabria Majors in that swimsuit. Did you see her jumping up on that helicopter? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Girl, I was so scared, but she looked so good. She won't go to Bria Major's bikini or swimsuit, but she just like, nah, they gonna talk about me. They gonna laugh at me. I don't know if I'm ready. What would you say to that woman? How would we help her get out there? Go on, girl. Go on out there and the food. What we gonna tell her?
You know what? I've learned nobody is paying you any attention. Like literally no one is looking at you. I can tell you right now, everybody's worried about how they look in their bathing suit and they ain't paying you no damn mind. And that is literally, I know that sounds simple, but it's the damn truth. And so there's no magic pill. Put it on. It'll be uncomfortable for a little while. And then you will realize, literally, you will look around and go, no one is even looking at my big ass. And then you just gonna be like, okay, here it is. Whoop, there it is. And you know, the first time it'll be hard, and the second time it'll be a little easier. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like anything, it takes practice, right? But there's so many beautiful choices that we didn't have 20, 30 years ago. So like, you don't have to, first of all, you don't have to be in a bikini. Okay. Like you are just trying to ease into things. Put something on that just feels good. Put on a t-shirt and shorts if that's where you have to start.
Yep.
You know, like just wear what feels comfortable for you. We don't have to aspire to be wearing a string bikini. That's not for everybody. That's not my vibe. That's never been my vibe.
Right.
But do you?
Now, if that's what you want to go for, go. Hey, go on all the way.
Do it.
Go all the way if that's your thing. That's like Pia said. That's not for me. But but hey, you like it. I love it because I love high waist bottoms.
Yeah. Right. Comfortable. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Right.
My friend Nikki Allen, owner of Give Me Body, swimwear line is set on getting me in a thong bikini. I don't know why. I might indulge her. I might.
I can see you doing it though.
Oh, I can see you doing a whole calendar.
I can see it.
I might
do it.
I can see you doing that.
I did order a bikini from her newest collection, which is really, really pretty. Because she had a sale. Her birthday was a couple days ago, so I was like, "This is my time. It's on sale. It's my time." So I ordered mine, but I can't remember what kind of back I got. We'll see when it get here. I'll be like, "Lord, she done gave me a strain." I don't know, but yeah, I think you're right, Pia. Like, one of the things that was big for me too, I thought that everybody was watching me. And it's like, I don't know if that's an ego thing, but like literally nobody is, no. And yeah, are there some people that gonna say something, whatever. But at the end of the day, for the most part, people are not paying attention like you think they are.
Right.
You know? And that's hard. You like you said, you kind of gotta maybe take one little step out. Okay. And then just keep going. You gotta keep that self-talk, that positive self-talk is important.
And don't let you become enjoying yourself, you know?
Right.
Because tomorrow is not promised. If we have learned anything from COVID, tomorrow is not promised.
Wear what you like. Put the damn clothes on. Wear the bathing suit. Wear the dress. Wear the shoes. I wear sequins to the damn pop-up shop. Put the sequins on. Put on whatever the hell, because we just don't know. Wear what you like.
That's right.
Any other parting thoughts? Oh, swimwear recommendations. I had already shouted out Give Me Body. Where else are y'all buying swimsuits? Are you buying swimsuits this season?
I just bought 2 bathing suits from Co-Edition, so I'm hoping that they fit. You know how it is with online shopping. So we'll see. For me, it's like I have to find good chest support. Like that is my primary concern. So a lot of these styles, I'm like, that don't work for me.
This ain't gonna do it. What do they look like? What color?
I don't even remember. That's what's sad. I'm like, what did I order again? Now you know that's trifling. One I think is like an emerald green. It's got a little ruffle, but we'll see.
Ooh. Now see what you buying.
Well, you know, I've already, I bought a couple already from my favorite place, and I wore my hot pink one to the beach when we went to Maisie. So I have a hot pink, flowery one piece. I actually bought a white one piece. It has kind of the stomach out and back to little risque.
I love it.
And then I have a couple of 2 pieces of, but where did I get the 2-piece from? What is it? Boohoo. Was it Boohoo?
Yeah.
That's where I got the other 2 pieces from.
Okay. Y'all doing the most. I'm excited.
I look cute.
And then really quickly, I'll shout out, like I said, on my Instagram feed, if you were watching or if you want to go see, on Tuesday, I posted a throwback Tuesday of my time in Thailand. And I did post my bathing suit photos up on there so people could see, like, you just got to go. First of all, you in a foreign country, you ain't going to never see none of these people no more.
Absolutely.
So you might as well put those suit on and live your best life and be happy. So, all right. Well, any parting words, advice, tips that we want to share with our audience? You know, some of them are watching live, but will also, of course, be available for replay. So just want to give you guys a chance to give a parting word before we wrap it on up. Hey.
I think I'm going to take Pia's advice, just in terms of giving myself grace and patience and be compassionate with myself, and continue to tell myself those messages. So that's what I'm going to leave with, and I encourage others to do the same.
I think for me, I'm going to leave it with you are enough, you have enough, you do enough.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you, Pia, for being with us and indulging in our insanity.
Oh my God, I would come back anytime. This has been such a good conversation. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, Nopes, of course, for being co-host extraordinaire tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Again, women and men too, because we need men. Y'all, first of all, we don't need y'all be out here being all critical of us, first of all. And then second of all, we have to remember we have plus size men too that are also fabulous and deserve the same amount of respect and love and consideration as anyone else. So want to shout that out too. Thank you all for watching this evening. Don't forget to follow me on my social media channels. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I have a website, www.nicoledvick.com. And, you know, every Sunday, my daughter and I, we be doing all kind of shenanigans and things on our weekly episode of Pushing Through on IGTV. And don't forget to pick up my book, Pushing Through, Finding the Light in Every Lesson. Do y'all know I have bought 100 copies of Pushing Through? I have 21 copies left. I have gone through my supply of books. I'm proud of myself. I got merchandise and all sorts of things. You might catch me out there in the streets, trying to sell my book at pop-up shops and things. I'll let you know. But just keep up with me, and I will do my best to keep you informed and engaged. And with that, I will see all of you next month.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.